I was going to tie this into my final theory, but we don't know when the final trailer drops, and honestly, I think it's better to separate this out from my final theory, and I just wanted to get this idea in the wild already. So I think I know Sephiroth's goals, or rather, his overall plan. Now this is going to be kind of general. I won't get into the details too much here because that's where things get super complex and the guesswork really starts happening. And maybe I am being a little too general here and maybe I'm just stating the obvious, but I think his overall goals and the general plot are going to be a lot simpler than people think, and it's actually going to be way more familiar than people are expecting. In Remake, it can kind of seem confusing. We assume Sephiroth has the exact same goals as before, but now there's all these weird elements and concepts that come into play, like Fate and the Whispers. But then when you compare the remake to the original and you look back, you find out all the themes are pretty much the same, and the new stuff just expands on that. Sure, we have the Whispers that are a new physical thing, and we can talk about the Whispers' role later on, even though I think most people already know what their role is. And there's a lot of general themes that are pretty much the same, events, characters. They're just being expanded on and rearranged the whole time in exciting, new, and flashy ways, and I think the same thing can be said about Sephiroth's goals. And honestly, that's kind of what the devs have been telling us. They've been telling us the story will be told in a new way that doesn't stray or defy the expectations for those who are fans of their original title. So it seems like a lot of things are going to be pretty similar, and so to figure out Sephiroth's new goals, we need to first look back. So let's have a quick look at Sephiroth's goals in the original game and the history. Jenova, the calamity from the skies that crashed into the planet with the goal to destroy it and reclaim it and move on throughout the cosmos. This is an external force that crashed into the planet, and the ancient Citra were able to defeat her and seal her away, most likely using Holy in the Lifestream to do so. Now, in the more modern times, Shinra is here, and they have mad scientists who have found Jenova, and they've created new entities using her cells and DNA, most notably her son Sephiroth, and he wants to carry out Jenova's legacy. So Sephiroth tries to carry out his mother's legacy by doing, I would say, 4 general things. The first thing, he wants to bring Jenova's pieces together in reunion so that way they can once again be whole. The second thing he does is he controls and manipulates individuals that have these Jenova cells, but more importantly, he manipulates an individual named Cloud. The third thing that happens is that he uses this individual Cloud to bring him the Black Materia. The Black Materia enhances the user's abilities, and this is very important. The Black Materia enhances the user's abilities. Just keep that in the back of your mind somewhere. And with this materia, Sephiroth is able to summon Meteor to try to shatter the planet. And number 4, when the Lifestream rises up in the original, he is actually able to start tainting it, and then in Advent Children, he is later revived and tries to corrupt the Lifestream even further. Now, of course, Sephiroth is stopped and defeated, 1, by Cloud being able to overcome his past and his memories and gather his party together and basically just generally kick his face in, 2, because Aerith's prayer for Holy actually did work, although it wasn't as strong as we had hoped, and the Lifestream is able to come up and assist, and 3, Cloud is able to defeat Sephiroth pretty quickly once again to stop him from tainting the Lifestream further, and Aerith, presumably from the inside of the Lifestream, is able to start purifying it and slowly cures Geostigma. Now, there's obviously a lot more details to this, like spirit energy, other stories, side plots, those all get mixed in as well, but this is a very general version of the events that take place. To condense that into even simpler terms, a bad guy wants to destroy the planet, and that's actually the thing I need to talk about next, the planet. And I know, you guys want to get to the juicy stuff, but we're almost there, I just want to get some context. The planet, Cloud's world, is more than just a rock floating in space. It has a soul. It has a life stream. The life stream is everything. Every person, everyone, everything, every memory, all in a massive swell. It's one soul and it has one cycle. Bugenhagen has already told us this in the original. It has a cycle of birth, life, and death, and it continues on in the cycle of rebirth. The life stream connects everything together. It has a cycle, a defined fate, one where Cloud and company defeat Sephiroth. Now, it is possible that this fate was thrown off a little bit by Jenova, but let's not get into that yet. Let's just keep in mind that the planet has a set cycle, a set fate, a set destiny, and the dirty bedsheets are here to try to keep it on track because, well, that's the fate that's supposed to happen. Okay, let's get started. So the planet has a set fate, and everyone kind of knows what it is. We know it from the original, Aerith knows it, and even Sephiroth knows this. How do they know it? Well, Sephiroth, like Jenova, can absorb others and take on their abilities as his own. In the original, there is a room of time and it is broken, sealed off. Do we have that many details on this? not really. There's a really good video done by Michael Bustamante. He goes into great detail on this, and he brings receipts, so I'll link that below, but I'm going to steal one of his slides here, and Sephiroth just straight up tells us that he has time traveled, or rather, traveled the life stream. But remember, the life stream is the soul of the planet, all things go through it, and it's in a perpetual cycle. But to further this point even more, Sephiroth shows us these time abilities. He has time traveled right in front of us even. He stops time with Aerith. He brings the entire party to the scene of Meteor, and sure, you can say some of these are illusions, but for the most part, these illusions don't work on Cloud's party members. But with Cloud, he takes Cloud somewhere special. He takes Cloud to the edge of creation, where fate ends and begins, where the cycle of rebirth starts yet again. But let's back up for a little bit before we talk about this. Sephiroth can control time, and what would any villain with the ability to control time do? Well, they'd try to alter events, change fate. We don't really know how many times he's tried this. Hell, he can probably even make his reunion boys start trying to alter things as well. But he is also forced to follow fate, and we see this. He's seemingly forced to kill the President Shinra. We also see him try to attempt to change things in Remake though. He tries to make Cloud run away, he tries to stop Cloud from ever meeting Aerith, he even kills Barret. But none of this works, so I guess time travel doesn't let you change fate. But why? Because the planet has a set fate, like I said before, we all know it. And the planet has a guardian, an arbiter of fate that protects its fate, with dirty bedsheets that everyone hates, but this fate, it's the memory of the planet. It's known, it's set, and it's being preserved. Sephiroth has even, through his travels, seen this memory, seen this fate. He has full knowledge of it. And Sephiroth is trying to weaken this by doing death by 1,000 cuts by changing events. The planet's even crying out when he's doing this.
Listen.
To be fair, Shinra is also unknowingly weakening the planet, but we're not talking about them right now. But even with him weakening the planet, he still just can't change the fate. The planet still remembers who it is, and what it's supposed to be doing, and where its fate is going. In the remake though, the planet does get weak enough. The Arbiter of Fate can finally be confronted, but Sephiroth doesn't fight him alone. He uses Cloud and company to defeat the Arbiter for him. And that's what we see at the end of Remake, Sephiroth seemingly using his mother's abilities to absorb the Arbiter in himself, and now we can only presume that Sephiroth controls not only time, but he can also control fate. And now that Sephiroth has this new power, he can create broken realities, alternative timelines, false memories. There's no more guardrails. That's probably why at the edge of creation, he tells Cloud to be careful.
Careful now. That which lies ahead does not yet exist.
But it seems like Cloud might have already let a false reality out and slipped it in. Maybe one Sephiroth doesn't know about. Or maybe he does. He did give Cloud 7 seconds to do something.
7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
Maybe this was him unwriting his death. Maybe he wanted Cloud to create something just so he could take it away. Maybe that's why after we see Zack live, we see things change yet again in front of him. Maybe this is Cloud's dream reality or his perceived reality. But even with this now, it's still not enough. The planet knows its truth. The planet still knows what its true path and true destiny is. It may even still have a few whispers and other tools holding things down for it. It's in a weakened state and maybe even starting to get confused, but it still knows what its fate is. And even if Sephiroth is creating broken worlds and twisting events in his favor all throughout time and making his own reality, slowly whittling away the planet's memory, the planet still knows the truth. And it seems like having the power over time and fate still isn't enough. So what is the next step? Well, it's simple. You make the planet think these fake worlds and false memories are real. Bring all these false memories together in, well, reunion. But how does Sephiroth do this? Well, he can't. He doesn't. But he knows, we know, someone who can. Cloud. Cloud can do something unique that only he can do. Synthesize a new memory and a new identity from broken fragments. And when he does, he creates a new version of himself. And it's a weakened version, one that can be manipulated by Sephiroth. In the original, where Cloud delivers the black materia to Sephiroth, Sephiroth uses it to enhance his abilities, so he can bring together the Genova copies and summon Meteor. But now things will be different. Sephiroth will control Cloud and make him use the black materia. And with this black materia, Cloud will have his abilities enhanced. He can bring twisted worlds and broken realities together and create a false memory for the planet, create a false fate, one that is corrupted, one that could be even further manipulated by Sephiroth. This is why Sephiroth says he needs Cloud at the edge of creation. This is why he needs Cloud's strength. And, well, I'll let him say it.
Let us defy destiny together.
And this all works parallel to the original. Cloud is manipulated by Sephiroth to deliver the black materia to destroy the planet's body. But now in Remake, Cloud is being manipulated not just to destroy the body, but also to destroy the soul. With the corrupted soul and memory, Sephiroth can now rewrite history and change fate. Cloud, everyone, everything they love and cherish can now be taken away. Sephiroth even asked Cloud and Advent children what he cherishes most.
Tell me what you cherish most. Give me the pleasure of taking it away.
I pity you. You just don't get it at all. There's not a thing I don't cherish.
So now, Sephiroth will take everything from him. Sephiroth will take everything by becoming everything. Everything will become a part of him. He will become the new god. And becoming the beginning and the end and becoming everything isn't really a new goal for him. This is his old goal. Sephiroth just has a lot more tools and a lot more knowledge now. I really do feel like this is going to be Sephiroth's new gameplay plan, though. He's going to use Cloud to bring all these fake realities together into one false memory, one false fate. Using that, he can manipulate it and change things to where he can eventually become the live stream and become everything. Become a god. But this is a video game, folks. We're going to stop the bad guy, and how are we going to do that? Well, it's probably going to be in a pretty similar way, but much more expanded way than the original. And while Sephiroth may think the livestream is weakened and broken, it will still rise up in the end, because it'll be fixed, and it'll be purified. Its memory will be restored by Aerith. And this isn't going to happen in Rebirth. This will happen in the next game. And Aerith can do this a couple different ways. And one of the ways is she's actually going to take inspiration from another hero, one who's fixed a broken memory before, Tifa. Tifa was able to fix Cloud memories and make him whole again, and Aerith's going to do the same for the planet. Kind of makes Tifa a much more important character, huh? Maybe they should put her on a poster or something. Anyways, the second thing is we'll probably see Aerith travel the livestream. Aerith is the maiden that will travel the planet, and just like Sephiroth did, and go through the events, the history of the planet, bringing revelations about the planet's history, and to remind the planet of what it is, who it is, what its true fate is, and fixing everything Sephiroth has undone. And by making us relive the planet's history through Aerith, this allows us to see the whole compendium of Final Fantasy VII as a whole. She may honestly even try to change the fate of the planet a little bit, try to fix it to be better. Maybe she'll try to turn it into the promised land that all these dorks keep talking about in the Shinra building. Who knows? Honestly though, it kind of sounds like she already asked us to join her on this journey.
There's no greater threat to the planet than him. Sephiroth has to be stopped. He has to be. And that's why I'm asking you to help me. I know that together we can do this. But if we do, we'll be changing more than fate itself. If we succeed, if we win, we'll be changing ourselves.
And this could play out in a ton of different ways to travel the livestream. They could find breaks in the current reality and go back. There could be an ancient device, or she could die again. Although, I feel like Sephiroth might be smart enough this time to know not to kill her, but maybe the planet knows it needs her and falls upon a not-so-special someone. I've talked about this before, but yeah. But on this journey, she's probably gonna need help. Will Cloud and the main group go with her on this journey? Maybe, but I feel like they have a lot to deal with themselves. They've still got weapons, Meteor, a fight to take to Sephiroth, so maybe this is a journey she has to do on her own, and since we're writing the livestream and fixing past events, she can probably meet heroes of history who will aid her and help her. They might stay with her on her journey, or maybe they just stay in their fixed space in history until called upon. These memories could maybe even be forged into the huge materia that we see in the original, that Cloud and company have to find in the present time. In the livestream, we can meet people all throughout the compendium who are alive and dead, living in false worlds. Ones that have fallen into the livestream temporarily could even show up, lending a hand even just for a little bit. Possibly important heroes from past or other games that we have yet to truly even see in the main game that could really be expanded upon. Maybe even people who are rumored to be dead and maybe even died temporarily and came back. And I'd really hate to say it, they could really pull people from almost anywhere at any time in any event, no matter how extreme or how disappointing to the player it might be to see these characters. In this journey, Aerith would really travel the planet, and we and her would learn more about the planet and know its history and fate. It would strengthen the bonds to the planet, maybe even boost its spirit energy, and it will let us know all the history and the key important events of this world. Some we know and some maybe we don't know. And the memories of these former heroes of the planet could rise up being summoned through the livestream, similar to the original. But this group, they wouldn't even name, right? The Defenders of the Planet, these Warriors of Fate, these Knights of the Round? But let's chill for a minute with the theory crafting. We're getting ahead of ourselves and most likely stretching a lot here. This would be the game after Rebirth anyway, so yeah, let's chill, let's recap. So in the original, Sephiroth wants to make the planet go boom, corrupt the livestream, and to, well, become it. And in Remake, Sephiroth wants to make the planet go boom and make the livestream become part of him and, well, to become everything. In the original, Sephiroth uses Cloud to bring him the Black Materia in Reunion so he can summon Meteor to destroy the world. In Remake, Sephiroth will use Cloud to bring him the Black Materia in Reunion, but he also makes Cloud use this to synthesize a false identity, a false memory, a false fate for the planet. In the original, Tifa pieces together Cloud's mind to make him strong enough to resist Sephiroth. In Remake, Aerith will piece together the livestream's memories to make it strong enough to resist Sephiroth. In the original, Aerith summons Holy, and the livestream rises up to help Cloud and company deal the final blow. In the Remake, Aerith summons a more enhanced version of Holy with the help of the planet's guardians, and the livestream rises up to help Cloud and company deal the final blow. As the devs have said, the game generally flows the same path as the original while adding new things for players to question, but things may not happen in the same order in the same way. These elements will of course be expanded on, and ultimately though, this game will still be able to link up to Advent Children in the same way. All these new elements really wouldn't change that. It's gonna be similar, yet different. And I kind of think the art shows this too. Cloud represents the status quo, Sephiroth is the dark timeline, and Zack represents this timeline of hope. And they show Tifa because she fixed Cloud's memory, so Cloud could save the day. Sephiroth is just doing his own thing. Honestly, I feel like Jenova should maybe be here, and Aerith will fix and purify this timeline of hope. As a whole, I do feel like this is pretty straightforward general plot, just like the original game. The details of each character, how events will be told, the inner dynamics of their relationships, this is where things can get super complex and super dense, and these things will be changed and these details will be adjusted, and that's probably what scares a lot of people the most, because people love and care about these details the most in the series, and that's why it's scary and frustrating when these things change to be something radically different, or maybe it's just disappointing when these things are a little too similar. Again though, I'm kind of looking at the bigger picture here in this video. I'll divulge into wild speculation when the final trailer drops and I do my final theory, so subscribe if you would be interested in hearing that. And maybe I am being too general here with these ideas around Sephiroth's goals, and maybe I'm just stating the obvious, but I kind of just wanted to share this idea of him having pretty similar goals, just using Cloud and his unique ability to bring everything all together. But yeah, poke holes in this, and I'll do my final theory later on once the final trailer drops, just we unfortunately don't know when that's coming. Usually I only like doing videos about games and sharing my thoughts and opinion on them, but all this Final Fantasy VII theory crafting and speculation has just been pretty fun. My next video will probably be about Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, as that's going to hold me over until the final trailer drops, and probably until Rebirth comes out. But as always, drive fast, take chances, later nerds.
And you're wrong. Everything about you is wrong.